Hi everyone, welcome back for this week, chapter 10. So, I really wanted to talk about chapter 10 and chapter 9 together because they're both fairly short, so it's good to have a combination of the two chapters. They do correspond, but also because we're about to move into Unit 2 of your textbook. And Unit 2 of your textbook is extremely thorough, it is very fast paced. You're going to get a lot of new information. So, we're going to start taking chapter by chapter instead of doing 2 chapters per week. Unit 2 encompasses chapters 11 through 18. So again, if it seems like we've been going fast for the semester, it's because I want the main information to starting week 6 to actually have a good foundation, and then we can really move into this, and you can ask me questions and understand the material in a more comprehensive way. So chapter 10 is on safeguarding against digital pitfalls. And what does that mean? Well, we're going to find out. This chapter is going to examine why startup businesses fail. We're going to assess how digital marketing can improve a business's chance of success. And we're going to distinguish the 7 steps in the digital framework. You gotta love those acronyms. So the man who founded Virgin Group, he is named Richard Branson. He said to succeed in business, you need to be original, but also understand what customers want. And I think that's very valid going into this chapter because your business has to have a competitive advantage, which is the original component of what he is saying. You have talked about competitive advantage probably in every marketing class, so we're not going to cover that again because it would be tedious and just overdone. But it should be ingrained in your head. So have a competitive advantage and understand that customers want what your advantage is. So that's kind of what we're going to be overviewing through this chapter. So why do digital marketing ventures fail? Well, a staggering 100 million businesses are launched annually, and according to figures from GEM Global Report, which is about 3 startups per second, and the SMEs, which is small to medium enterprises, account for at least 99.5% in every main industry sector. That's a lot. According to the Small Business Administration, close to 66% of small businesses will survive their first 2 years, and about 50% of businesses fail during the first year in business. One of the biggest reasons for business failure is inefficient and ineffective marketing. Inefficient and ineffective marketing. That's from chapter 4, which is failing to attract paying customers in a cost-effective way. We had a whole chapter on that, basically that whole bullet point. Please remember that. A business might have a product or service people are willing to pay for, but if they cannot figure out a way to market it in a cost-effective way, the business will ultimately fail. So, why? Well, these days your web and your social media presence can just be as important as your company's physical presence. People shop, research, search everything online these days. So if you don't have a digital presence or any social media, honestly, how are people going to find you? The first thing I do when I go somewhere is look at my Yelp app and say, okay, I just moved to a new city, so I'm still trying to figure out where are the best spots to eat, where should I take my dog for dog daycare, what parks are the best to run in. So these are all things that I'm looking for. And if you're a business in the area I just moved to in North Carolina, then you need to have a social presence, or else I'm probably not going to find out about you. And that's how most consumers are this time of day. If the demand is already there, then the virtual availability and visibility of your business is crucial. Basically, what I just said. Pay little attention to revenue and focus on the profit margin. This is from your author. This is verbatim what she teaches her clientele. Profit margin is better to scale to a certain size and retain profit margins to take you to the next step. This is because you can end up actually spending more money, more time, and more effort in managing teams to generate a larger revenue and ultimately end up with the same or less in profit. So focus on your profit margins. It's because you need to beat them, and then all the money will flow. So how can you succeed in digital marketing? Well, there are 7 steps. They're easy to remember steps that you can have in your essentials. And this is figure 10.10 10.1. These steps will help you understand the trends and opportunities available to you from channels, investment, growing your audience and followers, testing campaign performance, to automating tasks that best and quickly generate leads. So let's look at them. So in step 1 of this digital framework is the word digital. That should be easy to remember. In section 2 of the textbook, which is the next unit we're about to move forward to, the author is going to be discussing the 8 powerful ways of marketing your business online and the proven strategies of each of the key digital channels, as well as saving you time, efforts, money by showing you the exact tasks that need to be carried out daily to get the best results and profits. So that's step 1 in a digital framework. It's digital. Step 2 is to invest. You must invest in training for you and your team and focus on the top ROI channels such as search marketing, social media marketing, email marketing, and paid advertising. Now, the next bullet point is so critical. If you are not prepared to pay for social media advertising, then you don't need then you won't gain any reach you need on social media, such as Facebook and Instagram. I think a lot of businesses tend to overlook paying for a paid advertisement or for social media, and that is a big way to reach people. Older clientele usually love Facebook. That is the number 1 social media is still used, even though younger generations tend to look at Facebook as a nonchalant kind of thing. It's still the biggest and most used social media worldwide and daily. And Instagram has the really cool, and so does Twitter, really cool posts now. It's where if you're trying to shop for something, it looks like an actual post from one of your friends. I scroll and like everybody's photos, and I cannot tell you how many businesses probably are like, oh my goodness, we're about to get a new lead because I like their photo, because it looks just like something my friends would have posted. LinkedIn does not tend to be much easier, as there are fewer users and less content to reach your audience, but it won't always be that way when the network grows. LinkedIn, I think, is really good for business to business, or if you're just trying to recruit people to work for. You can put content out there. I think, again, in my personal and professional opinion, LinkedIn is better for B2B. Step 3 is growth. Growth is, it is fundamental to understand that, especially with social media, the power in building a network will only be recognized if you turn that audience into your tribe and your group of followers that you can ultimately generate leads from. I love that word, your tribe. I think that that's kind of uses a lot more today. I see a lot of people, especially at bachelorette or bachelor parties, my girl tribe. And that's how the author wants you to think of your promoters, your advocates. These have a very different feel to your network, as your tribe is taking the next step, not just to connect or follow, but also to join an interest group. I subscribe to a lot of blogs to the companies that I really like. There is a hairdresser in Arizona that I do not have the time or money to pay for to travel out there just for her to do my hair. That sounds ridiculous. However, I do pay for her professional opinion in a virtual world on curly hair. She has several videos and tutorials you pay for, but then she also has a blog that you can subscribe to, and that's kind of my interest group. You can connect with other people, with curly haired people in this community, and it's kind of my interest group. So I'm helping her grow. Step 4 is innovate. Digital marketing is an ever-evolving arena that is important to harness any opportunity ahead of your competition. Plus, there's the fact that so advanced technologies are available at entry-level pricing, where traditionally these were only available for enterprise-level businesses. So the author, she doesn't give much detail, but what she's talking about is for example, Google Ads, which is what we're using throughout this semester. If you've been watching Hannah's Digital Marketing Place, which I hope you have because you're tested on it. And if you're in my other course, my web and social media analytics, Google Analytics is the main platform that we focus on in those videos. So those were not always free. They used to just be for businesses that were really large and on mass scale, and now they're not only free, but anybody can use them, which is what we're doing in all my classes. Step 5 is to test. The power is split, and multivariate testing in a digital marketing is often overlooked, but this is an extremely important aspect of getting the best ROI and conversion. A/B testing is commonly used in this stage of the cycle. If you don't know what A/B testing is, it is creating variations of a web page and sending it out to online visitors to see which format converts more leads or customers. Here is an example. This is 2 web pages. And there's actually sites. I wish there was a free version that we could use. When I was in grad school, there was, and now you have to pay for it. So, or we would be doing it. So this was like a website example, and just because they click learn more in blue or learn more in green with this arrow, it had a higher click on learn more, which is making more leads, which was probably going to be making more customers down the road. So they're saying the click rate on this was 52%, whereas this one was 72%, based on the visitors that visited this landing page. Pretty cool, right? That Amazon's really known to do this. Quick fact or note, you should never redesign your whole website, like one format A/B testing and like A and then B, like don't make them completely different. You have to do subtle changes like this, because if you do like a whole web page on this side and a completely different one on this side, and this one's got the 52 and this is the 72, how do you know what was the reason for that? So you might think it's the way the page is laid out, but normally it's not that. It's usually subtle little changes like green and an arrow. So you always want to do minor changes to see what has a higher click rate and what consumers prefer, and then you can keep changing it as they go. And eventually it will look like a new web page, but you did it subtly to make the best optimized website. Step 6 is to automate. These are repetitive tasks such as email, social media, and other website actions that should be automated using a software. We talked about this in a previous chapter, but MailChimp is a free software that does this for any business. And step 7, this is leads. Leads is a business that is performing well will have a steady flow or funnel of leads coming into a business that are converting to customers. Acquisition of leads with poor conversion will not result in a profitable business, so attracting quality leads is just as important as nurturing leads. So you always want to be getting more leads. And as you get more leads that are quality, as the author states, you also want to make sure that you're nurturing them into making them part of your tribe, right? You want them to join your interest group. So always be connecting with them, but also always be attracting more people. So that is chapter 10. We looked at statistics surrounding a new business on a global scale. We examined how using digital marketing can be effective in saving a business. And we investigated and assessed each step in the digital framework. If you all have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me via email. I would be happy to set up a Zoom meeting or give you additional examples and or information. If you do not have anything else, then we will talk next week.